Greetings, Mixbus users. I'm going to show you how I use the signal generator from the new Drum Flow plugin in a dub mix. I'm going to just let you know I'm only using the drum character. I'm adding some weight to this kick drum, and I'm using the new signal generator to generate a subfrequency. I'm going to let you hear the kick entirely by itself dry. Now with the drum character, you see it immediately gets not just a weight, it gets a character. I'm going to bring in now the signal generator on top of that, and the signal generator is going to bring in a 40 hertz sine wave. And note, I just went up to the signal generator, pressed the kick preset, and I got something really close to where I wanted. I just made a small adjustment on the gate hold time to adjust it for this particular kick drum, and that's all I needed. The drum character, the signal generator, and I'm using the filter because I don't want to have too much sub frequencies, and I want to make sure that I'm rolling off at 27 hertz and I'm limiting my top end as well. But the thing is, I'm bypassing basically every processor in the drum flow for this particular use. If it was a live drum kit, I would be using the gate, no doubt, and I'd be using the compressors. But this is a sample that I created, and it's exactly the way I want it, so it needs minimal processing. And I'm doing exactly what just the particular sample calls for. So I'm going to show you how awesome of a sound I can get with just these two processors, the drum character and the signal generator. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add some low frequencies. That's the low frequencies soloed. This has a thing here called signal listen. With signal listen, I could turn off the dry signal and hear just the sine wave that I'm putting on top of the signal. So here's the kick and the sine wave blended. That's just the sub frequencies I'm adding, which has a wicked sound, sounds like a completely different instrument. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to incorporate those features into my dub. I've already brought up the automation lane for the signal generator's wet signal level and for the signal listen. So what I'm going to do is, when I get to this drum section of this riddim here, I'm going to go ahead and solo, or rather I'm going to turn off the dry kick signal. And let's go through it. Let's do it. We can advance to the end. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing for this next track, but I'm not even going to record it. I'm just going to bring this automation dot. I'm going to copy these. It's real easy. Come up here to this lane. Select the lane that I want to put it. Okay. What I'm doing now is I'm going to create a ramp. Okay, it's going to get louder as it goes through. Now, while all that's going on, I'm going to do the same thing to the snare. Unfortunately, the AVA line does not work with the touch feature in Mixbus at the current time. So I'm bringing up the same two parameters for the snare. So here we go. Okay, so what we have here now is a nice ramp. I'm going to automate some effects on this section here. Okay, so that's cool. We have a whole new sound here. Let's get creative. I'm going to the signal generator, and I'm going to the signal type, and I'm going to record the signal type. It's at white noise. I'm going to change it to sine wave on the snare drum. Back to it. Back to sine. Back to white. Okay, I carried it outside of the dub, but it was just a vibe. Now that I've covered the kick and the snare, I'm going to move on to the hi-hat. I'm going to go to the mixer screen, and I'm going to drag the drum flow processor from the snare channel to the hi-hat channel. I go back to the edit screen. And as you can see, all of the parameters from the automation of the snare are now copied over to the hi-hat. And I'm going to make a change. I'm going to go to the automation, processor automation, drum flow, and I'm going to go to the signal generator in, which is essentially the bypass of the plugin. And I'm going to copy this mute from the signal listen. I'm going to set my edit point to mouse. I'm going to select the channel, and I'm going to drop it right here at my mouse. So now the automation for that channel is going to come on just for the drum and bass section, and then mute when it gets out of the drum and bass section. Let me go into play. Now I want to automate the signal frequency. So this is going to be the frequency for the sine wave. And let's let it play through this section. the automation for the hi-hat. Now let's bring up all three of those processors. Let's see all three processors working as I go through the drum and bass section that we just created. Here we go. And you see the processors working. That's why I'm using the new AVA drum flow plugin in my dub mixes. In my opinion, this is the benchmark for all other drum processing plugins on the market. I'm just showing you a fraction of its power, how I'm using it in a dub. This is what it's all about, engineering tools that we need to either bring out the sound of the drum exactly as it's intended or to shape the drum into the sound that I need. Right here, one plugin could be used in any DAW, AVA Drum Flow by Harrison Consoles. Check it.